Okay, you guys, so I felt that you guys needed a little bit more background information on this RC car of mine. It is a RC10GT. They no longer make this particular model. I picked it up at a garage sale event for $40. Really gummy. Somebody left nitro fuel in it. It was really rough. The engine's pretty much no good. They don't sell the parts to rebuild them. So that is why I'm using different styles of engines, different qualities, just to try them out. Unfortunately, this project got put on hold for a little while. I do plan on continuing this project, as I state at the end of this video. Hope you enjoy. What's up, YouTube? So, I got this car a couple years ago. It's an RC10 GT. I got it pretty stripped down for the most part, but I ran into a couple problems with this car. It's hard to get certain parts for it. So, most of the parts that I needed, I found, new fuel tank, fuel line, the normal basic stuff. But there was a couple other things that I couldn't find, or I had to find a cheaper alternative or an alternative to it. So, parts-wise, I was able to get, new fuel line. Here's a brand new tank from Team Associated. They had the new front little bumper. They still use the original. Oops, sorry about that. Swing arms and stuff. I got a aftermarket air filter for the motor. I'll show you here in a minute. And they make replacement rims and tires, or rims I should say. This is a pretty nice plastic rim. I put some Proline wedge tires on them. I really like them actually. They're pretty sticky. I think they'll be perfect for my use or application. The biggest thing with this car was that the bearings in the front were shot. Well, they're not bearings, they're bushings. They were completely shot, worn out. It was crazy how worn out. So I went looking and I found them from a different company. They're called TRB RC. They're actually pretty nice bearings. They're $10 for 10 of them on Amazon, pretty cheap. I need a new battery holder. It's $10 for this big pack. I don't need that many, but it was cheaper to buy it that way. My switch that was in there was bad too, so I ended up buying a bunch of switches, same style, same size even. Here's the Proline wedges in the same, in the original package. They do sell new rims for the rear for 1/4 inch shaft only. I ordered a bunch of this stuff off of Hobbytown, USA. The only thing I didn't get off of there was this. This was Amazon. I think I got that off of Amazon too. And then over here, this is one of 2 motors that I have ordered. So they no longer make the Team Associated .15 motor anymore. I can't even find the rebuild kits for them. So I went on to eBay to look for a new motor. And I found a Force Models Company motor. And to be honest, it appears to be a pretty nice motor. The carburetor's aluminum. It's got a brass fitting for the fuel intake right here. The high-speed needle's pretty nice looking. Has really good compression. It comes with a brand new glow plug. Pull starter's pretty nice. It's just sitting weird at the moment. It does fit in the car. It fits on the mount. The only thing that if you find this motor and you order it yourself is it needs a pilot shaft. I ordered an HPI one. It'll be here soon. I'll probably make an update video on whether or not it fits on this. It should be an M5 threaded shaft. So this has just got that little bit. If you have the original .15 motor but it's worn out like mine, you should be able to use the same flywheel, same shoes, same everything on it. If you need to get an alternative, unfortunately I don't know what the alternative that would be. I also needed new servos because mine that were in the car were completely gone. I found these digital servos and they're full Metal Gear and everything. The only problem that I have with these is this top. They're the same size all the way up, except for this top is another like 2 millimeters or so taller. So when it comes to the steering, I'm gonna have to really look into seeing how to get this to work. Because if I can get these to work, then I'll make another video of how I got them to work. Because these were a whopping $16 a servo, and they're gonna be perfect for this application because how light the car is. You know, it comes in a little kit. It has all your little pieces and everything, which is pretty nice for $16. That's a really decent amount of stuff for a servo. These bearings are very nice. They do fit in the original wheels, if you have the ready to run model, I should say, because I know they had 2 others. They do fit in there. These are the front tires, so you have to push them in here, and then you can put them on. Once you put them on, then you just put them on the shaft right here. Focus. There it goes. Yeah, just put them on the shaft right here. The shaft's a little warm, but it's not bad at all. You know, I just figured I'd make an update or a video on it. If anybody is looking for stuff and they can't find any. The original muffler and header do fit on this motor, so that's good. I didn't buy any replacement gaskets. I think I'm just going to get some red RTV high temp silicone and put it on there, or cut out a gasket. You can buy gasket material pretty cheap around here, and it shouldn't be too bad to do. The only thing is this carburetor is a slide carb, so it actually slides out instead of the rotary carb is what I call it, but basically it rolls to the side. They do have instructions on Associated's website on how to set up this style of carburetor on that car. This carburetor actually, when it came, was rotated 180 degrees, so this was over here. I just rotated around. I actually really like this carburetor on here. It actually has 2 O-rings. Down further, it's got an O-ring on the carb, and up top. So, I mean, you have to practically rip it out of this block to get it to move. So it's a really tight seal. So hopefully this motor runs really, really well for me. I use O'Donnell's 20% nitro fuel, so I don't think I'll have a problem there. I also, this isn't the original old GT, this is obviously the GT2, but it's a really nice shell. Paid about 25 bucks for it from a company or a couple guys in Canada. I don't know which. I got it off of eBay too. And it appears to be in really nice quality shell. I'm going to paint it up some cool colors that I like. So if you guys got any questions, let me know. I'll see what I can do to help. So what's up, you guys? So I got an update on this car from my first video. So these servos, they fit in here. Now if you're using the RPM receiver box, it's quite the squeeze here, to where I actually have to had to move the servo head over, which required me to adjust some trim settings in my remote itself. No, actually I did not, sorry. I actually had to adjust the turnbuckle here, and then adjust these individually to get my toe in, or toe out correct on each tire. May still need some tweaking since it hasn't been truthfully ran yet. But that works. The only thing I've found so far with these servos, now quote, this could be anything from the battery pack that I'm using or not, is that if you throw it, say, left real hard, like real quick, sometimes the servo will like stick and jitter a little bit and then it'll go back. Both of them have done it, and I think that's just something with the fact that they're not quick enough to respond. But if you like normal operation, I found that, you know, if you were just to drive it around your house or something, like pushing it, or, you know, running a normal car, these servos should be just fine. I'll make an update video once I run the car quite a bit to see if they're truthfully junk or if they're good or not. Another thing with the RPM receiver box is the box was meant for the old FM receivers that had the real tall antennas. So I have my receiver in here, which is a Spectrum SR210, which is a really nice receiver. Sorry about the glare, you guys. So instead of, there's a little notch right here that you're supposed to run all your cables down and out with. Instead of doing that with my antenna, I drilled a hole just big enough for the antenna to go out, because these still have little ones on them, as you can tell. I just drilled a small hole down in here, and then just looped it over, up and under, and then fed it in my tube and put my little antenna tube on there. It works just fine. I like the way it looks. It works. Now for me, I changed to a different style motor. I have the slide carb. So with the slide carb, you're supposed to buy a different kit to allow it to slide, or for allow you to use that style motor with this car. But I ended up coming up with my own solution using the original setup here, the original linkages and everything, and it works just fine. You know, I've was cycling it, and haven't had a problem. My biggest problem was that my hold down, I actually have it on the underside, so that this linkage was more in a straight shot with the slide itself, right here, so that it didn't bind it. And it works just fine. But I had to use one that I had because the other one was just practically worn out. And this works just fine too. Now for this servo, I actually had to adjust in my controller travel distance, what it was allowed to travel. So I adjust it so that I get full throw on the throttle slide, but won't go past that. And same for in the opposite direction, where it'll only go far enough to apply the brakes, and I have the brakes all set up and it works just fine. I haven't had a problem. It works perfectly fine. But I just set them a little bit, you know, if you're using this, if you're using the Spectrum DX4C, which is what I have, which is this one right here. It's a nice radio. It has travel settings. I can get a video of showing you what I set mine at, but every one will probably be slightly different to however you want it. But yeah, it works. I had to drill the holes out, of course, and it functions in both directions. Now the only thing that's different from most cars is they normally have a compression spring, which is this spring, as my camera went out of focus, a compression spring on it, which is fine, but I needed the travel distance here. Well, I had a pull spring, so I just tightened it to the servo mount right here, put the other end on here, and it pulls it tight, and it's perfect. It's not like an overly tight spring, it's snug, but it's, you know, that servo handles it just fine. I haven't had any problems with it moving it. You know, it doesn't seem to slow it down. You could tell that there's tension on it, but it's not any different than if you had two tires on the front of your car and you were turning it on the ground. So that's just a basic update video for you guys. I should be getting some more parts in, and we'll see what the finished product is. Have a good one. So what's up, guys? So needless to say, I'm adding this to the end of my video here. It's been a year later and this truck hasn't really moved much. I got some tires put on it and stuff. I do have some more information on these servos. I figured it out after I had made the video, so pretty much what I was saying in the video was wrong. Needless to say, the servos did not like my rechargeable AA batteries. The only thing I could think of is, since they're digital, that the voltage was not high enough on them. Your standard rechargeable battery is about 1.2 volts, which is pretty low for them, even at fully charged. They're not going to be that much higher. Now, if you use your standard alkaline batteries, I had absolutely no issue, no more jittery, no nothing left in them. So, you know, the truck hasn't really moved much. I've, you know, not same desk anymore. I've done a lot of stuff in the last year, so this project kind of got set to the side. I did glue my tires. They're mounted to the rims. The bearings are in there. Spin really, really good bearings. They're really frictionless. Nothing weird. Still spinning. They spin forever. I got everything all tucked in. Haven't really messed with it. It's another project I plan on doing or finishing up, because I started this project to do the project. I enjoy this style of car. And my other motor came in. I got some other stuff that came in. Shell is still clear, unfortunately. But I hopefully will be uploading another video of this soon. You know, this is one of a few videos I need to upload. Fortunately, the other two videos are from a year ago. I'll get better at this. You guys just gotta give me time. So I will also have other style of videos on my channel as well. So Have a good day.